news, politics, music, and stupid internet culture. Broadcasting live from the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. This is the Okie Patriot 76 podcast.
Alrighty, folks. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Today is Sunday, August the 4th. And I'm just going to keep on doing the podcast like this. I may miss a couple days here and there if there's not a lot of big things going on. But there's a couple stories I want to discuss today. And I think the game plan for now is I'm going to keep the podcast like 3 to 5 topics. And then if there's anything else I want to talk about, like on a personal level, or if there's anything else that's like non-political, or if I want to talk about music stuff, I'm going to include that in there as well, plus those topics. But I'm just trying new things out. I'm trying different formulas, trying different ideas. So let me know in the comments what you think is best. But before we get into this episode, I want to let guys know that it's the podcast from yesterday is up on Rumble. So just type in Okie Patriot 76 and it's up on there, and this video will be there as well. So you can follow me over there as well as all the other podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify. It's on YouTube. Trying to branch out everywhere and trying to get the show into as many platforms as possible and in front of as many eyeballs as possible. So, let's talk about this this story that broke this morning. Republicans for Harris launches a new campaign. So it's basically a campaign within a campaign to mobilize and reach the anti-Trumpers out there that are rhino Republicans. Today, Harris for President is launching Republicans for Harris, a grassroots organizing program to further outreach efforts to the millions of Republican voters who continue to reject the chaos, division, and violence of Donald Trump and his Project 2025 agenda. Which, by the way, I have no idea what that is. Could anybody explain what the Project... I keep on hearing that. I just don't know what it is. So can somebody fill me in on what that is? Because I don't even think Donald Trump knows. But they have launched on a social media, which I think is interesting. I think this was probably the Biden for Republicans for Biden account, probably, because this says joined July 2020 on Twitter. But I guess they just like everything else, they changed everything else over to from Biden to Harris. So it's a new campaign they launched officially that is going to be on the ground. It says this program will leverage principled travel, on the ground organizing efforts, and paid media to reach, persuade, and mobilize Republican voters. So here's their campaign ad that I thought was interesting. Let's give it a listen.
America stands at a crossroads, and the choice this November couldn't be more clear. Do we elect a prosecutor or the felon?
Before I was elected vice president, I was an elected attorney general, and I was a courtroom prosecutor before that. As a prosecutor, I specialized in child sexual abuse cases. Well, Trump was found liable for committing sexual abuse. As Attorney General of California, I took on one of our country's largest for-profit colleges that was scamming students.
My office filed suit against Corinthian colleges and put it out of business. Donald Trump ran a for-profit college.
We're going to teach you better than the business schools are going to teach you. It's going to be a shorter process. It's not going to involve years and years of your life.
That was forced to pay $25 million to the students it scammed.
And as an attorney general, I held the big Wall Street banks accountable for fraud.
We have delivered to California $18 billion in relief for California's homeowners.
Donald Trump was just found guilty of fraud on 34 counts.
A criminal like Donald Trump must never be allowed to occupy the Oval Office. Vote the prosecutor, not the felon.
I think this whole thing was planned. I think the whole thing, the whole media, the whole campaign to get Trump into prison and arrested and behind bars, it was all planned. And I don't agree with it. I think it's dumb. I think it's a dumb move. I think it's going to backfire on them big time. But I think it is a genius ad campaign, and the marketing behind it is clever. And you have it's the prosecutor versus the felon. I've talked about it on the last couple of podcasts, but I think it is fascinating. I think it's interesting, and this is what they're going with. And if you notice, I don't have her campaign pulled up, her website, but people are saying there's no policies on the website. It's just about Trump. Because she has nothing to run on. She has nothing to run on except we have to defeat Donald Trump, who is a threat to democracy. But I got 0 votes. He's a threat to democracy, but I didn't have an election. But he's a threat to democracy. Very, very, just crazy. It's just so crazy, dude. Here is a Republican for Harris. She's been a Republican since 1984. She voted for Ronald Reagan. Here is her. This is Rosie O'Marin. Let's let her speak. Here's what she has to say.
I am Rosario Marin, the first and only immigrant woman to be Treasurer of the United States. I have been a Republican since 1984, when I had the great privilege to vote for Ronald Reagan. I have been a delegate to 5 Republican conventions. But when Trump took over the party, I couldn't vote for him. He's not an honorable man. He lies, he cheats. He has been found guilty of sexual assault and has been criminally convicted of 34 charges. He incited an insurrection in our capital on January 6th. I know his MO. He relies on insults to demean and degrade his opponents. As a woman, I am sick and tired of listening to all the insults he has levied against such an accomplished woman as our vice president. I don't agree with Kamala Harris on every policy issue, but I am deeply offended that Trump, his campaign, or those Republicans that support him will call her dumb, evil, or a DEI hire. This November.
All of those are true, by the way. We're just posting we're just calling what we're seeing here. I mean, it's not, we're not trying to be anti-women or anything. It's just what we're seeing is not good. Now, I will say there's a clip from Face the Nation. I don't have it pulled up, but it's a clip, I think, of Tom Cotton talking about. Well, let me just give you an actual quote of what he said on Face the Nation here. Where is that? I just saw it. Face the Nation. It's gone. Oh, yeah. Here it is. Tom Cotton. When the American people get a better look at her radical positions, I think you're going to see that they don't want her to continue the Biden-Harris legacy. So, this is the problem. A lot of people are talking about Trump going after her using the race card. And a lot of people on the right, or some people on the right have pointed out that's going to backfire on the Trump campaign. They need to focus on policies, and I think that they're starting to realize that. And going after her on actual policies and actual things that she's done and her history, and drop the race card. Who gives a fuck if she's Indian or Jamaican or black or whatever? I do get it's weird. It's kind of sketchy that she's using all of these races to, I guess just like any politician. I mean, she was in Georgia the other day and she put on a Southern accent, just like Hillary Clinton with the hot sauce. It's cringe. It's bad, but the Trump campaign needs to focus on something other than the race thing or the DEI stuff. And I know it's important. I know it's an issue, but hit her on policy.
This Republican will cast her vote for Kamala Harris, and I ask you to do the same. Thank you.
So these people are not Republicans. All this is they are trying to use Democrats disguised as Republicans, and they're trying to say, oh, this is a Republican voting for Harris, and they're trying to virtue signal to the right by saying, hey, one of you, somebody like you, they're voting for Harris. It's not that bad. We have Republicans for Harris. It's not that bad. Come vote for Harris. Very interesting. What are your thoughts on this? I don't think the messaging is going to stand up, but I do think it is a little bit clever, and I think that obviously some people are buying it, but it's, I don't know, it's just it's dumb. Some people are calling, thank goodness there are sane Republicans. So there are some people out there that are just not going to be on the board with Trump. Here's the thing: I have voiced my criticisms with Trump, but I am not going to vote for Kamala. Absolutely not. I'm not excited for voting for Trump. I'm not pumped up. I'm not like 100% on board. He's done some things that I disagree with, and I have voiced, those thoughts and convictions on social media over the past few years. But voting for Kamala seems like, might as well just cut your leg off. It's not a good move. So I think right now for this election, I would much rather vote for somebody else who is more conservative, somebody like a DeSantis or I wish Thomas Massey was running, but hopefully he'll run in the future, but who knows? Somebody like him, somebody like, I just kind of want, like in the future in 2028, I hope that, somebody who is more conservative, somebody who, somebody like that. I'll definitely vote for a DeSantis a second time around, but we'll just have to see. But I'm definitely going to vote for Harris. I'm definitely not going to vote for her. 1,000% no. And so these people are not Republicans. These people are Republican in name only. It is what it is. So let's talk about last night. Joe Rogan put out a live Netflix special, Burn the Boats, live from San Antonio, Texas. And I tried to watch it. Did anybody else have lagging problems? Like it kept on repeating the words he was saying. I actually fell asleep while watching the special, and I had to rewind it, and then I fell asleep again. Maybe it's just my internet. I don't think it was my internet. My internet's pretty good about watching stuff, and I watch a lot of stuff online, and like 100% of what I watch is from the internet. I don't have cable or anything, but I've never had an issue like that with Netflix. But it was good. I actually haven't watched a Joe Rogan special before this one. I kind of forget sometimes that he's a comedian, because people know him from the podcast. Like I have, over the past 4 years, I've been getting more and more into his podcast, and I think that him moving to Texas has changed him a lot, and with the COVID stuff that he went through, the whole controversy with that changed him a lot, and it changed him for the better. And I've noticed, he has woken up on a lot of things, and living out in California in Hollyweird is not good. And when you move to Texas, you move to the real world. it changes. You're around people that are not celebrities. You're around people that are not famous. And Austin is weird, but it's not as weird as LA. There's still there's normal people. There's normal people, and I mean it's still Texas. So here is I don't want to play too much of this. I might get a copyright strike from Netflix, but here is a clip from the special last night. Burn the Boats.
It's just good to see everybody having a good time. The country's almost back to normal before World War III. COVID was just so strange. We lost a lot of people during COVID, and most of them are still alive. Yeah, right? Yeah, there's a lot of people that I don't fuck with anymore. Before COVID, I would have told you that vaccines are the most important invention in human history. After COVID, I'm like, I don't think we went to the moon. I think Michelle Obama's got a dick. I think Pizzagate is real. I think there's direct energy weapons in Antarctica. I'm just kidding. I don't think Michelle Obama's got a dick, but I believe all that other shit.
And all the conservatives, all the pages on Instagram, these right-wing pages are like, Joe Rogan came out and said he believes in Pizzagate. Like, it's a joke. It's a joke. I mean, maybe he does, but it's a joke. It's a joke. Now, maybe he believes that. Maybe he believes all this, but it's just a meme. It's just a meme. He's a comedian. But I do, like I said, all joking aside, I do think, I have listened to his podcast, whenever he was in California, whenever he's doing the show out there. I listened to it off and on, but whenever he moved to Texas, I started listening to it early on. And even since then, I've noticed a change in him. And, I don't listen to every show, so I'm not a Joe Rogan expert or anything like that. I'm not a hardcore listener of it, but I've listened to several episodes. And, so I do a lot of driving. I drive for work, and so I have a thing in my truck where I can hook up my phone to the little GPS or the little. I bought this thing on TikTok, and I was really surprised how good it was. You just plug it into your cigarette lighter, and you can have Apple CarPlay, and you can listen to stuff off your phone, and it's really cool. And I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. So I listen to Joe Rogan. I listen to a whole bunch of podcasts, the Tucker Carlson podcast, I listen to, non-political shows, a lot. There's a whole bunch of podcasts out there that I listen to from time to time. I get tired of listening to the same thing over and over again, so I kind of switch it up. I do like a comedy podcast, or I do like the Ramsey Show, which is like a money show. Dave Ramsey's pretty cool. But either that or like I'm not really into sports or anything like that. So it's usually either political or like a comedy, like a Theo Von episode or whatever. But I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan, and it's cool because you click on Joe Rogan and I can, I don't have to touch my phone. I can just leave it on and listen to it, and then I listen to like the whole thing. And another podcast I've been getting to is kind of political, but it's not really. He has more guests on that's not political at all. Sean Ryan, if you haven't checked out Sean Ryan, I've been getting into his podcast. The first episode I saw of his was about a month ago, and it was Struggle Jennings, who was Waylon Jennings' grandson. And I never have heard his story before. I've never have. I knew he was somehow related to Waylon, but I didn't know how exactly, and so he broke that down. I think it was a 3 or 4 hour episode, and I watched that whole thing. I was at home, and I sit there and watched the whole thing, and I was just like, this is a killer episode. And then there was another episode with John Deloney. Anyway, super good. I love podcasts like that where I can just click on and just listen to but going back to Joe Rogan, I think there's a lot of people, like there's this guy on YouTube, his name is Ruslan, and he has made several videos about, like, he's a Christian rapper dude, and he makes Christian content. And he's made several videos pertaining to Joe Rogan's faith, or Joe Rogan mentioning Jesus, and he's been analyzing his episodes when he talks about Christianity, and it's just interesting. I think, a lot of people are saying, like him, he's speculating that Joe Rogan is getting more religious, or he's getting, like, he's growing closer to God, and that's good. I mean, he's moved to Texas, he's moved to a red state, and I definitely see a change in his opinions and things like that. So that's good, and he's been friends with Alex Jones forever, so. He was red-pilled before, and now he moved to Texas, and he's more red-pilled. So, the best line out of this, we lost a lot of people during COVID, and most of them are still alive. That is a comedian killer joke. I bet he had this line tucked away, and he tried so hard not to say it on the pod. I'm pretty sure he said something like that on the podcast, somewhere along the line. But man, that is a joke right there. That is a killer joke. Speaking of Joe Rogan, did you know that the mainstream media lies? Well, here is a video from Tulsi Gabbard. Let's look at this right quick. Tulsi Gabbard. So MSNBC is again exposed as a propaganda machine for the Democratic elite and how they bizarrely try to deceive the American people. One part of the video, Joe Rogan was talking about Kamala. On another part of the video, he was talking about me, Tulsi Gabbard. MSNBC combined it together to make it look like everything he said was about Kamala, and he was endorsing her. Of course, this is completely false. Furthermore, it is another violation of FEC law by failing to report their propaganda as a contribution to Kamala's campaign. And they posted this as a YouTube short. And they took it down.
Not sure if you guys caught this, but MSNBC was exposed today for yet another set of lies. They deceptively edited together this video of different Joe Rogan comments to make it appear that he was singing the praises of Kamala Harris.
She's going to win.
No, she's not.
She can win. She is a strong woman. She is a person who served overseas twice. She in a medical unit. She was a congresswoman for 8 years.
Yeah.
She is a person of color. She's everything you want. She's going to win.
No, she's not.
She can win. They just want no Trump, no matter what.
This is not reflective at all of...
Do they think that people would buy that? Kamala didn't serve in the military, but Tulsi did. I mean, they think their audience is morons. I mean, I don't agree with them politically or how they vote, but these people are not stupid.
The truth of what Joe Rogan said, and I think MSNBC has since taken this post down, but what's really serious here is that not only does Joe Rogan deserve an apology, there's actually something far bigger at stake here. This is yet another example of how MSNBC is working hand in glove with the Democrat elite and the Kamala Harris campaign to try to spread lies, simply things that are not true. So what this means is MSNBC is a for-profit corporation. They are helping Kamala Harris's election campaign, and what they are doing through their platform would qualify as an in-kind contribution to her campaign. It's worth a lot of money. The fact that they are doing this should require the Federal Elections Commission that manages campaign spending and campaign finance to require them to report this as an in-kind campaign contribution or to be punished for abusing their position in trying to use their platform that has nothing to do with journalism. It is purely a propaganda platform, and that they are using this in order to try to help Kamala Harris get elected. These people need to be held accountable for what they're doing, because otherwise they will continue to do this, continue to abuse their platform and their power to try to deceive the American people and help her get elected.
And I mean, I totally agree. I mean,
not sure if you guys caught this, but MSNBC.
Sorry about that. They should be forced to come out and apologize. It's just ridiculous that they thought their audience would buy that. They thought their audience would take the bait without doing any research, but Kamala didn't serve. Tulsi did. Let's listen to what he said again, because maybe people didn't catch it.
Exposed today for yet another set of lies. They deceptively edited together this video of different Joe Rogan comments to make it appear that he was singing the praises of Kamala Harris.
She's going to win.
No, she's not.
She can win. She is a strong woman. She is a person who served overseas twice.
Kamala didn't do that. So, also, CNN. So you have MSNBC caught lying using fake videos, or they took videos out of context to push an agenda. And if I was Joe Rogan, I'd be suing MSNBC. But they did take it down, so I guess they did threaten to sue if they didn't take it down. Probably, maybe they realize. I mean, whoever put this clip together should be fired. My point is, but you have CNN now just got caught using AI to try to make the crowds look bigger at the Kamala Harris event. So this is, I think his name is Older Millennial on TikTok. Is a pretty good follow over there. I think he's on Twitter as well, but here's the Older Millennial talking about CNN spreading fake news again.
And just got caught using AI to try to make the crowds at a Kamala Harris event look bigger. Let me introduce you to Catherine Rampell. She works for the Washington Post and is a commentator on CNN. And this was the image she posted. She said, "Scenes from the Harris fundraiser in Pittsfield, Massachusetts." Then people started noticing some little issues with this photo. And she said, getting spam claiming these photos are AI. Not sure why I'd use AI to create a crowd of people in downtown Pittsfield. Then people started zooming in. The fuck is going on with that road sign? How does that happen? Someone explain to me how they can put their hands through the fucking sign? And what fucking language is this? Like, it's very obvious. This is all fake. Like, they tried to take a tiny crowd at her fundraiser and make it some big event using AI. We're now at the point that in the last 2 days alone, we caught MSNBC editing a Joe Rogan clip to make it sound like he supported Kamala Harris, when actually he was talking about Tulsi Gabbard. Now we got CNN using AI to make it look like people give a shit about Kamala Harris. It has become very clear that the mainstream media is willing to lie directly to your face. It's up to you whether or not you're going to take it.
So both sides have used AI. Trump used AI. I saw a clip of there was a DeSantis supporter using a AI DeSantis voice. It was a clip from a year ago from the Florida Standard, Will Witt's organization, which I think is now closed. It's not open anymore. But it was a news, like a pro DeSantis news thing, and they took an interview, or they took a clip from that, and they used an AI DeSantis voice to say was attacking Trump. Let me see if I can find. I don't think I have it saved on here. Let me see if I can find it real quick, because I don't think it's on here. Yeah, okay, yeah, here it is, right here. This guy is a pro-DeSantis guy, and it was like, seeing all the Macedonians losing their minds over Kyle Rittenhouse because he's choosing not to vote for Trump made me remember when Ron DeSantis said we shouldn't be listless vessels. I watched this whole interview. It's on YouTube. It's about 20 or 30 minutes long. It's on the Florida Standard channel. You can go watch it yourself if you don't believe me, but Ron DeSantis didn't say this.
And in our party that views supporting Trump as whether you are a rhino or not. And so you could be the most conservative person since sliced bread. Unless you're kissing his rear end, they will somehow call you a rhino. So it's been totally detached from principle and what you actually believe and results. And it's more about, just what faction you happen to do. So there'll be people who are huge Trump supporters, like in Congress, who have like incredibly liberal left-wing records that's really just atrocious, and yet they're viewed as by some of these folks as like really, really good. Then you have other people, like a Congressman Chip Roy, who's endorsed me, Congressman Thomas Massey. These guys have records of principle fighting the swamp that are second to none, and yet they will be attacked by some of these people and called rhinos.
So I don't disagree with what he's saying. I think what he's saying is correct, but he didn't say it. It's an AI thing, and people in the comments believe that this clip is real. And I was like, this doesn't sound right, because I know DeSantis. I was like, he wouldn't be saying stuff like this. Maybe he would. I was like, I haven't seen this clip, and this clip is from like a year ago. Whenever he was still campaigning, or over a year ago. Well, let me just pull up the exact date, so I can show people the exact date here. Let me find it here. Yeah, it's from the Florida Standard. Oh, it's from 2022, August 2022. So it's literally 2 years old. I thought it was a year ago, but it's August 2022. And, like I said, there's AI on both sides. You have the MSNBC, you have CNN using, fake stuff to push their agenda. But it's just sad that, you have CNN out there going to as low as using AI to prop Kamala up and make... And AI is used in political stuff. I mean, I have used AI a bunch here recently. I've used AI when it comes to music, but I let people know it's fake. It's AI. It's fake music. It's bullshit music. That's why I picked the name Bill Steele, because it's BS. It's bullshit music. It's not real music. And I let people know. I really go hardcore, and I say, hey, I go out of my way to say, hey, this is not real. But my audience is not stupid. They know it's AI. But CNN and MSNBC, they push it as real news. They push it as fair and balanced or whatever, and it's not. And just like with the AI video or the AI image of the Harris event, a journalist pushed it as real news. I just don't get what they're thinking about when they put stuff out there to the world, because they know if you zoom into the picture, it's obviously fake. It's obviously AI. I don't get why people do that. And this is what I think is dangerous about AI. I do go back and forth on this when it comes to AI. And even though it's funny, some of the songs I've done for this new album, it's funny, and it's entertainment, it's hilarious, it's good for the meme and all that kind of stuff. But it is dangerous. AI is dangerous, and using it to persuade the population one way or the other, it is dangerous, and especially with videos, especially with images, using AI. There's been a lot of speculation that some clips of Biden has been AI, and who knows if it is or not. I don't really know for sure, but there's been some very convincing videos out there explaining how this video of Biden is fake. And I get why people think that it's AI, but I'm not 100% convinced. But AI is getting to the point of they can put out a video of Trump or Kamala, Kamala can put out a video of Trump or Trump can put out a video of Kamala saying some stupid shit and people will believe it, and then by the time word gets out that it's fake, people already have in their minds that it's real, and you can't convince the MSNBC population or the CNN population that it's not real. And that's the problem. It's just like with the video or the picture of the Trump bullet, like the iconic video, they were altering the photo over on Facebook, and they said it was a mistake. But then by the time they corrected it, people thought it was a fake image, and he didn't really get shot, and he was faking getting shot. And that's what a lot of people will think out there, which is just ridiculous. I mean, it's just insane. Like, you're an idiot if you think he didn't get shot. I mean, it's just, I don't know what else to say about that. It's just like, you're not like, I don't know how to change your mind. I think you're too far lost in the sauce and lost in the Kool-Aid to be for your mind to be changed on that. But I mean, thoughts and prayers, I guess, your way. I don't know, but anyway. But I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised MSNBC is doing this or CNN is doing this. They don't have a good track record when it comes to actual journalism, and that's why nobody watches them. And but you know, they've lied about Joe Rogan before, and they'll lie about him again. And I just think it's crazy. Why did they think that clip would work? Like, going back to the clip of them editing the videos together. Like, why did they think that would work? It obviously is not true. And anybody with half a brain would realize, oh, Kamala didn't serve in the military. Like, it's just, people are just so dumb out there. I don't know. Yeah, man. I have been off of social media, but I've been keeping track of, for the most part, of everything going on for the off and on, everything that I can, or for the most I can. I've been keeping track of everything, and I wanted to end the podcast with a couple of things. I want to talk about why I'm not posting on social media, and then why I'm doing the Bill Still thing. I'm going to play some music for you guys to end the show out. So I've come to the conclusion that being off of social media is the best thing for me right now. And I wish that wasn't the case, but I think if, by me doing the podcast, maybe a couple podcasts a week, it's not going to be that bad for me. It's not going to be, that stressful. But if you're on social media constantly, and this is how it was for me, you just get fucking depressed, and you just get in a bad mood, and it's just not good for you. And being, staring at a screen, I was spending, 8 to 10 hours a day on the phone, and it takes a toll on you. And I pretty much decided, a few months ago, I was like, I'm just not going to do that anymore. And it is what it is. And I think my kind of compromise here is, like, I'm going to do the podcast, I'm going to talk about what's going on, and then I'm going to get off. And I appreciate everybody out there. I appreciate the support. I really do. I love every one of you guys, and I appreciate everybody out there. And I wish I can, talk back to everybody. And I see the DMs. I'm gonna eventually get back and get on Instagram and reply back that way. It's not that I'm totally getting off of social media. It's just like I just don't want to fall into that trap again. And it's not really a trap. It's just like, when it comes to the Olympics, it's just like, oh, I have to post about the Olympics, or I have to post this clip, or I have to, and everybody else is posting it, and that's just what you do. And you have to post this clip and post this picture, and have to stay on top of it this way, and you have to post about this thing. And it's just like it got to be exhausting, and it really took a toll on my mental health, to be honest with everybody. And I just couldn't do it anymore. And I encourage everybody out there to do the same. Like, stay off of social media, stay off of the phones. Like, I do listen to podcasts. I do. That's the only thing I do listen to when it comes to phones, and I do watch a lot of that. But that's how I get my news. That's how I get, what's going on. I look at social media and I see what's trending, and I form an opinion off of that. And I like this format better. Like today, I just saw, hey, this is what's going on with Joe Rogan, or NBC did something stupid, or CNN did something stupid, or you had Republicans for Harris is trending. It's just like, I like it better. And it's like, I don't, like, the problem I was having was I was, like, looking on social media to see what was going on, and then I would do the show. But now I'm just like, I'm going to log on to Twitter, see what's going on, and just do the show. And I think that's a good formula. And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm not an expert on all things, but this is my show. This is my opinion. And I don't know. That's what I have to offer. And I like, doing the show. It's just a cool thing, and I like messing around with even though I bitched about it yesterday, I like messing around with the settings. Like I was listening to my own podcast yesterday in the truck, and it sounded so good. And I've fiddled with it. I've messed around with it so much that I think I fine-tuned the audio so much, and it's not 100%, but I think it sounds pretty damn good. So that's why I've gotten off of social media. And one of the things that I have really been doing lately, like over the past 6 months, like since the beginning of this year, I've been doing this intermittent fasting thing. And I've been doing one meal a day for the past, 6 months or so. And so, like, for example, this morning, I had eggs and sausage and cooked in Irish butter. Got the Irish butter going on. And then put some cheese on there, and I put some avocado on top and some hot sauce and put that on a burrito. And so it's not 100% the carnivore diet. It's got the protein, got cheese, got the avocado, and I think I'm going to get back on that next week. I'm going to get some oatmeal. So I would do, for the longest time, I would do this. I would do a bowl, like a breakfast bowl. I would lose the tortilla, and I would get like a breakfast bowl, and I would do sausage, egg, cheese, cooked in butter. And then I had another bowl with oatmeal, and not the oatmeal you put in the microwave, not the shit you put in the microwave, but it's like 5-grain oats. It's like Bob Mills. I think it's called Red Bob Mills or something like that. And you have to cook it for like 10 or 15 minutes. So I would do that, and then I would put butter and cinnamon in there with blueberries. Oh, dude. It's so good. It's so good. And then I would do that with black coffee. Black, that's what I'm drinking now, right now. I'm almost out of it, unfortunately. But iced black coffee in a tumbler like this, like a Yeti. This is not a Yeti, but a Yeti-style cup. And I have never felt better. And I've cut out, for the most part, fast food. And I've cut out... and I was doing this before this year. I've not used a microwave since before COVID. And when I tell people that, they're just so confused. Like, they're just like, how do you do that? I'm just like, you just don't use the microwave. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, have you ever tasted a microwave meal, like a microwavable TV dinner, and said, man, this is good. This is delicious. Maybe there's some meals out there I'm missing out on, but I don't think so. It's just disgusting. It's not good for you. It's all, just processed shit, and you're putting it into your body. And I know people that they do Pop-Tarts, and they do, Hot Pockets, and they do just all this shit that is not good for you. And and that's another thing. I don't do a lot of snacks. I just do... if I'm really having a long day, I may eat 2 meals, but it's going to have to be like I'm going to eat one big meal in the morning. And I know that's not technically the carnivore diet. I know the carnivore diet, you eat in the afternoon, you skip the morning meal, and then you eat in the afternoon. But what works for me best is I do morning. I wake up, as soon as I get up, I make coffee, and then I cook breakfast. And then I don't eat until that night sometimes. But I sometimes just don't eat at all. But I may have a snack, like a beef jerky or something like that, or some nuts or something like that, or I may go get something like a burger sometimes, but not really though. I have cut out most breads from my diet, other than the tortilla. But I used to do bagels. I used to do English muffins. I used to do sandwiches all the time, and I have never felt better because I cut all that shit from my diet. And I feel I have more energy. I sleep better, and I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a doctor, but I do know that the experts are not necessarily the experts either. So it's just like, who do you listen to? And for me, it was just like, I just got to do what's right for me, and I just tried out different variations of different things, and doing this really worked for me. And it kicked my ass the first couple months. I about quit it, but now I'm getting to the point of like, I'm not hungry. I eat what I need. So going back to my breakfast, I get good quality meat. So I go either to a local place here and get that, or Brahms. Here in Oklahoma, there's a place called Brahms. It's a grocery store / fast food place, and they have all their meat, or not all of it. I think their hamburger meat and pork, at least. Their bacon and sausages from Oklahoma. Don't know about their chicken, but their sausage is really good. So I get their sausage sometimes, and then I don't get their eggs, but it's really frustrating to me. Like, I have to go to 14 different stores to get what I need. But I've been getting a lot of my stuff at Brahms, and then a lot of my stuff at just a couple things here and there from all these different stores here. So at Homeland, which is a grocery store here in Oklahoma, they have these farm fresh eggs that's from Oklahoma. They're from Manford, and they're called Equally Unyoked or Equally Yoked or something like that. And they're the closest thing I have found in a grocery store to farm fresh eggs. Like the yolk is darker, like a dark yellow, and it tastes like a million times better than regular eggs. But they're also like a little bit more expensive, but they're worth it. I think they're like $6 a dozen. So, but when you're eating one meal a day, you kind of want the best quality on everything, and you're still spending less. Like, I spend way less than I was because I cut out all of the snacks and all the shit I was buying. And so I mostly do breakfast stuff, and then I do sometimes I go to the store, like I get one of those rotisserie chickens, like right when they put it out, and then I get some sides with it, and it's like $20 for that, and I get like 3 or 4 meals out of it, which is not bad at all. And so yeah, that's what I've been doing, and I feel a lot better. I'm in a lot better place mentally, and I definitely feel like I'm losing weight. I don't know how much I've lost. I don't really like to track that stuff. It makes me like stop what I'm doing, if that makes sense. It makes me miss the forest for the trees. Like, I'm focusing on the big picture, and the bigger picture for me is feeling better. And if I can feel better, that's all I want. And the icing on the cake for me is like, oh, I'm losing some, like, a couple pounds here and there. I'm obviously losing weight. I'm eating way less, but I don't really track that stuff as much as a metric of how, if it's working or not. the way I look at it is, if I'm feeling better, that's all that matters. And so I encourage people to do that. And I can't watch these people on TikTok. There's so many people on TikTok out there that like gorge themselves. They do these mukbang challenges. It honestly makes me sick. It makes me sick watching these people. And like I said, I hardly do 2 meals a day. I can't do 3. Well, like one time recently, I did 3 meals a day. Or like I did 3 meals that day, and I felt sick the next. And so a healthy thing for me is just like get some eggs, 4 or 5 eggs with some meat, some bacon or sausage, and I do different variations of that. And then I get some grass-fed beef and some good quality chicken and some good quality other stuff like that, and I just basically do that. And a big thing for me is like I cut out a lot of sweets, a lot of snacks, but I do like Joe Biden, my weakness is ice cream. I gotta have some ice cream. So that's what I have sometimes as like a late night snack. I do some ice cream, and it's probably not the best for you when you're trying to lose weight, but you kind of have to have something to keep you sane. And but it's definitely a bad habit of mine, and I've been trying to, like, if I do have a snack, it's definitely not going to be ice cream. But that's what I was doing for a while, and it was bad. I would have my breakfast, and then I would have ice cream at night when I got home. So it's bad. It's bad. But I'm trying my best, and I'm still losing weight. I still feel better than ever, and yeah. And one of the things I've been doing lately is I've been doing AI, this AI country project. And so speaking of AI, I wanted to talk a little bit about that. And so this album is coming out very, very soon. It's called Rock and Roll Cowboy. And I want to play some songs from that project. So here is, if it will load, here it is. So, okay. So there is 33 songs on here. Yeah, 33 or 34 songs on here. The intro doesn't count, so there's 33. There's an intro that will explain more context to the album. But to end the show here is a unreleased song. It's called Pound Sand. And this song will be out everywhere the next coming weeks with the album release. Thank you so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. I hope everybody has a great Sunday and a great week ahead. Please subscribe to this podcast and check me out on all the platforms and give a rating. And until next time, have a great day. Here is Pound Sand, and this goes out to the MSNBCs of the world and the CNNs for out there. They're faking news. They're using, out of context clips to push certain agendas. Here is Pound Sand.
I wake in the morning, grab my coffee cup, flip the TV on, and the talking heads are up. It tells the twist of truth with a heavy hand. Well, let me tell you, fake news can pound sand. They say the world's on fire, things are going wrong. But out here on the prairie, life just rolls along. We ain't got time for nonsense, they demand. Oh, fake news, buddy, you can pound sand. Oh, the fake news, it can take you high with their fancy suits and their golden mics. They ain't fooling no one in this promised land. Till the cows come home, fake news can town sand. They talk about the weather like it's end of days, but the
So I mean, isn't that cool? That's AI. I mean, maybe it's not cool to you, but I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to go to a studio or anything. And so there's songs like that on there. There's a song called "Honest Politician." The theme surrounding this is like there's a song on there called "Drain the Swamp," making a living $1 at a time. There's a song on there called "The Record Man," and that was influenced by a recent event with the channel that I ran into that I may talk about eventually, but you can probably figure it out though. There's a song on there called "Defund Welfare, Put People Back to Work." Let's listen to that.
tired of the lazy living off my dime, working all day just to see them whine and whine. Give me back my taxes, quit bleeding me dry. Wanna see some sweat and tears under that sky. Saw 'em on the porch drinking cold beers all day while I'm busting my back in that sunshine's ray. Get off these sorry bucks, make an honest buck. This life ain't about luck, and I'm running out of bucks.
So that song is crazy because the AI software wouldn't allow me to cuss anymore. It wouldn't allow me to do any kind of vulgar language, but that song fell through the cracks, and I think that's pretty cool. But here is, I don't want to give away the whole album here, but I want to, here's a song called "We Need a Cowboy in the White House," and I think it's time to play a sample of that, because I think it's a cool vibe. It's kind of like a folky John Denver type Americana. Like, okay, listen to this.
The prairie winds are howling, the nation's feeling lost. We need a leader riding tall, no matter what the cost. A man who knows the open range and how to keep it free. We need a cowboy in the White House, strong as liberty. The folks in D.C. lost their way, drowning in their greed. Forgot about the little towns a working man trail need. A fellow with a snow always smiling, boots caked in dirt. We need a cowboy in the White House, can't lie, won't desert.
So, "We Need a Cowboy in the White House," there's a song on there. So my whole point in this is I understand people have different opinions of AI, and I agree with those opinions. I think it's a dangerous use of technology, and but I know that the other side is obviously using it, just like with the MSNBC thing or the CNN thing. CNN is using it for their side, and all I'm trying to do is use it for our side. And it's fun. It's a fun use of technology. But it's also, I'm very, very on the fence on this. It's very, I agree with both sides. I think it's good. I think it's bad, and I'm very torn on the issue. But here's one of my favorite songs on the album, and I'm going to end the show officially. I know I said I was going to end it, but I forgot I didn't talk about the context. So there's all these themes, surrounding in the album. It's about, it's calling out America. There's songs on here that's calling out politicians. There's songs on here. Of course, there's a song "Fight, Fight, Fight" that was from the Trump event of July 13th. And then there's non-political songs on here. So if you don't want any politics in your music, there's songs about there's patriotic songs. There's songs about Oklahoma. And then there's dancing songs. There's fun songs on here. There's a song about black coffee. Should I play this? Yeah, let's play Black Coffee.
Early morning light hits my face, grinding beans and endless race. Steel-toe boots, another day. Black coffee keeps the blues away. Long hard hours on the line, sweat and toil, we do the time. Marked by scars and callous hands, black coffee fuels the working man. Black coffee, hold it strong.
So the reason why it's called Rock and Roll Cowboy is there is some rock songs on here. Black Coffee, Fight, 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 and Kiss My Grits is another one. But there's a couple of rock songs sprinkled into this hardcore country, traditional country album. But I want to end the show with my favorite song on the album. I think it's called Love My Country, and this is how I feel. And I have not heard a country song out there. And, part of this project is I have not heard a country song like this, and so I'm going to put music out there that represents that idea. And, there's certain songs that are similar, but it doesn't say what I want it to say. And I really had to work the system to try to get it to say, for example, from pee pads to knee pads, I really had to work the system to try to get it to say anything negative about Biden or Harris, and it didn't want to say anything negative about it. And not that I wanted to, make a song that was like hateful towards them, but they were painting, Biden or Harris as some kind of hero, and I just thought that was a little bit cringe. But you had to put in there, write a pro-Trump song about Biden, about Harris, and you had to write you had to word it a certain way for it to say what it wanted. Even then, it didn't. It's not 100% perfect, but it's still pretty good. But here is Love My Country, and this is how I feel about America right now. I love my country, but I hate my government, and it's the most honest. Even though it's AI, I know this is cringe and weird and wonky, and just a little bit weird for me to say, but it's one of the most honest songs I've heard in a long, long time. And it's an honest statement. I love my country. I hate my government. So here's the end of the show. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a great weekend.
In a dusty old bar at the edge of the town, neon lights flicker as the sun goes down. Working men gather, their stories untold. Got calloused hands, hearts full of gold. We bust our backs for $1 a day, living paycheck to paycheck, just scraping by, they say. But come Friday night, we shake off the dirt, raise a glass to the land in which we were birthed.